All right, so good morning, everyone. Welcome to session 6 of our free cybersecurity awareness training sessions. Today, we are going to be looking at prevention and resilience to phishing attacks. As per usual, we will be going through the agenda and then our training session, but we'll kick off the session with the introduction by the Honorable Minister of ICT, and I'll be playing you a short clip on that. But before I do that, you are used to having Grace Kachivena the last few sessions. Today it's myself, Vanessa Maresh, Empowerment Specialist at Salt Essential IT, who is going to be conducting this training session for you today. I hope to see some of our colleagues from the Ministry of ICT on the call as well. But I start off this session today just with an introduction of what these sessions are about. It's always good to understand context. And I'd like to just play you a very short clip on, yes, why we are here today and what drives us to be giving the cybersecurity awareness session. So bear with me while I share the clip.
With the evolution of information communication technologies, Namibia as a developing country is no exception to cyber attacks and cybercrime. The growing cyber attacks jeopardize the purpose of digital participation and connectivity, as well as the integrity of Namibia's critical infrastructure. The Namibian government seeks to build a cyber resilient nation. Hence, in line with cabinet endorsement, the Ministry of Information Communication Technology developed the National Cybersecurity Strategy and Awareness Raising Plan. The purpose of the awareness creation is to empower the nation's citizens with the knowledge and skills to make informed decisions when faced with potential cyber criminal activities, whether in general or at the workplace. The national document is a step towards building cybersecurity resilience and digital security to enable an innovative Namibia and the attainment of social and economic growth. With this plan, the nation is prepared to respond effectively to the threats or attacks on network systems and services. Namibia will reap benefits and economic opportunities presented by the use of ICTs on the condition that the country's citizens are ready, capable, and vigilant against the threats that include phishing attacks, ransomware, cyberbullying, and child online vulnerability. The National Cybersecurity Strategy and Awareness Raising Plan helps to safeguard the citizens' privacy, educate and create awareness to safeguard the national critical information infrastructure, as well as ensure collaboration on cybersecurity to continuously improve the safety of vulnerable groups in the cyberspace. The scourge of cybercrime has the potential to negatively impact the nation's ability to achieve its developmental objectives. Namibia has encountered a rise in incidents of misuse of available internet platforms by criminals to carry out cyber attacks. These growing cyber threats disturb the purpose of digital participation and connectivity, as well as the integrity of our national critical information infrastructure. It is for this reason that the Ministry of Information and Communication Technology, in collaboration with South Essential Information Technology, is hosting a series of awareness creation sessions for the Namibian nation. I therefore urge you all to join the ministry and South Essentials efforts to participate in the sessions in order to be equipped with the necessary skills in order to be safe on the internet, protect our nation's critical infrastructure, and make informed decisions should you fall victim or help those who fall victims to cyber attacks.
Salt is a
Apologies, I was on mute. All right, let us start our session for today. Do remember that we will have a recording that we will email to you after the fact. Also, remember that we will have a test at the end of the session. So please do take your notes, because if you do pass the test, and actually if you pass all the tests of all 8 of the sessions, today is session number 6, then you will receive a cybersecurity superhero badge that you can flaunt with on social media. So I will be putting everybody on mute, just not to disturb the others. If you do want to ask a question at any point in time, you're welcome to unmute yourself and ask the question, and you're also welcome to use the chat box. If the chat box seems a little bit unattended, please don't worry. We will get to everything in the chat at the end of the session, and we'll try to review it periodically as well. So without further ado, let us kick off with today's session. Today's session 6 out of 8 sessions. As you are probably aware, they are all on Friday mornings from 10 to 11. And today, just to recap, we are going to just look at the signs of a fish, links, and the actual fish. That's what we did in the last session. So signs of a fish, if you do recall, we'll review it again. It's everything that evokes an emotion in a person. So no matter what kind of communication you are getting from the internet or from social media platforms, if there it is evoking a feeling of emotion in you, if you're feeling something about it, scared, happy, sad, excited, those are the way that the cyber criminals, using psychology, knowing us as human beings, knowing our human nature, that is how they manipulate us, by using our emotions. So there are many signs of a fish. We'll go through them again today. Things like urgency, building rapport, lots of them. But the main thing you must remember about signs of a fish is that whenever you are feeling an emotion about something, that is when you must become very vigilant. Next one up is links. So links is things that we click on. That's probably one of the biggest way that the cyber criminals, once they've sent us the fish, they want us to click on a link, and that link usually takes us to a place that is not the actual place we think it is. And so it's very important for you to understand what is the difference between a real and a fake link, how you can recognize it. And the quick message here is just don't click on them unless you have initiated the process. So unless you are going to your website, to your banking website, unless you are going to want to reset your password, all of those things, just try to avoid clicking on links. If it does seem legitimate to you, you've checked out all of the signs, everything looks good, and you still have your doubts, please double check with your colleagues, your IT department, your friends, whoever. Always verify or phone the institution. If it is a link from a bank that's being sent, phone the bank. It's sometimes a little bit difficult for us to phone places like Netflix, um, but do try to verify in a different way the legitimacy of the request. So if it did come to you as a WhatsApp, then make a phone call back to confirm, is this something that you sent me? And then we also had a look at the actual fish. So let's look at, oh, sorry, that's our agenda for today. We'll do our recap next. So what is phishing attacks? That's what we were looking at last time. What is phishing attacks? The different types of phishing. And again, it's not important for you to know off by heart all the different types of phishing attacks. There's so many: whaling, spear phishing, whatever it is. There's a lot of different ones, and I'm sure there's going to come out lots of different ones in the future. But as long as you are armed with knowing how to recognize the signs of a fish, you will be okay, irrespective of the type of phishing. But it's good for us to have an awareness of the different types, because there are many different types of phishing. And then we had a look at Namibian cybersecurity attack, some statistics. So let's jump over one of the most important concepts that you do need to learn and appreciate from sessions is that you are the last line of defense. You are the person doing the clicking, the person downloading, the person opening. You all have the ultimate responsibility of whatever happens to your colleagues, your friends, your business, your family, your children, because you need to arm yourself to protect yourself. You can have the best security systems in the world. If you, as an employee, or you as a mother or father, you click on that link, that is on you. And it is our responsibility to make sure that we are doing the right thing when we are online. Good. So let me play you a short clip about the signs of phishing. Um, I'll talk you through it. The general signs are manufactured urgency. Like I said, when they make you feel stressed or worried, click on this link before 5 o'clock today. Do this or your account will be deleted. Those are evoking feelings of emotion. That's when you should be really vigilant. Many attackers will frame their phishes as urgent requests, such as needing student files right away to meet a deadline, order to target, act quickly. And that is when we must realize something is suspicious or odd. Or if there is a manufactured report or history, they may make it look like the request or the attack is part of an existing relationship, such as by referring to a past conversation, which may never have happened. This is meant to give you a sense of trust in the communication, or even push you to responding by making you feel embarrassed by not remembering. So they can even say things like, remember the previous discussion. Oh, did I forget this now? Um, so be vigilant and make sure they are using all kinds of tactics. So what are the signs in phishing emails? Mismatched or suspicious headers. So the header is the first line of the message. Um, that will show things like the sender and the recipient's email and IP address, when the email was sent, and quite a bit of other information. Some of them may even have information that shows the signs of a phish, like if the name of the sender doesn't match the email address, or if the email um, appears to the information is suspicious. So by default, your IT staff will be able to, if you're uncertain, you can always forward this to your ICT team or someone that you know that is tech savvy or working with computers or working online a lot. They can also guide you and help. Then mismatch or suspicious links. We're going to look quite a bit at that. We're going to deep dive in links today. But many phishing attacks are trying to get you to click on a link that will prompt you to enter information or download a file. So the entering information, it will compromise your identity. So if you enter your username and your password or your email address, then they will actually have that information now and can go to the actual banking website or the actual Netflix or the actual wherever and actually sign in with your credentials so they can impersonate you. Another sign is that a link to be from a trusted website, but it's actually leads you somewhere else. In most of the browsers, you can hover over the link and it'll allow you to see where it actually leads. So if the email looks to be coming from Standard Bank, and there's a link and you hover over that link, you'll see that it doesn't say Standard Bank. If it's a phishing email, it'll take you somewhere else. The website will look exactly the same, but it'll take you somewhere else. So if the address is shown when hovering over a link, it's different in the message states where it would go. This probably is a phish. Other signs are that phishes are spoofs that use similar characters to mimic trusted addresses. Like google.com would have, instead of the L in Google, it will have a 1. And we'll look at that in the rest of the session. But it's important to pay attention to details. They are actually, that's why they want to try and make you feel an emotion. That's why they want to make you feel nervous or stressed or very happy or very sad or whatever the case may be, because then we don't pay attention to details. And that's where they always say, there's a saying that says the devil is in the details. The devil really is in the details when it comes to this stuff. So paying attention to the details and being calm, not being disturbed by them, that is a secret to you being safe. Then unrequested files. I know people, especially in the sales department, are always very happy when we get a purchase order. Yeah, money, money, money. But when you have not requested for something, like if you're not expecting a package from DHL and you get an email that says, here's your tracking details for your package at DHL. I know we would all love to believe that, there's a surprise or a present on the way, but the reality is that's how the cyber criminals fool you, because they know that human nature, we want to receive things. We like gifts. We want to, we want to be happy, and they prey on those emotions. So they really, that's the thing about criminals. They usually don't have any emotions of themselves, but they do understand human nature very well. So if you didn't request for the file, again, not to say that we don't want you to win the lottery prize, but please verify. Pick up the phone the organization, say, did you send me this email? Or even if you receive an email from someone that you're not expecting it usually, or you know the person, but why are they emailing you this attachment? Phone them. They probably have been hacked and they don't know it. So please make sure that you always confirm legitimacy of request in a different way as it was coming to you. So if it was an email, make a phone call back. Then there's also signs of phishing over the phone. we looked at this in one of our previous clips when we looked at passwords, how easy it was that for a lady to get the passwords out of people. They're very good at this. The social engineering cyber criminals, they're very good at posing sensitive questions as normal questions. So just beware whenever they want personal information, that is probably a sign that you're being phished. If they don't want to provide a callback number, you'll notice that there's MTC scans going on. If someone says that they're phoning you from MTC and you won whatever you won, they need your telephone number. Why they would need your telephone number if they're phoning you? But anyway, these are the logical questions you need to ask. And whenever that's happening, I mean, if it's a legitimate request, just ask them, can I phone you back? What is your number? And 9 out of 10 times, they will put the phone down in your ear. But let us look at a short clip on the signs of phishing. All right. So I hope it's clear now what the signs of phishing are and how you can actually avoid being phished by asking the right questions, paying attention to detail, and always verifying whether it's legitimate or whether the legitimacy of the request by using a different method of communication. So we said urgency, report all history, mismatched or suspicious headers, mismatched or suspicious links. So if the link says it's taking you to Standard Bank or the mails from Standard Bank or First National Bank, and then if you hover over the link and then suddenly there's no First National or FNB in there, you know that this is possible. This is probably a phish. If it's sending you unrequested files, the purchase orders being sent, the invoices, the proof of payments, all of those. If it's just out of the ordinary, you're not expecting it, please be vigilant and contact the person to ask them. Otherwise, we are just propagating the crime. And then it becomes from authority. So it's not Microsoft's fault. It's not NetBank's fault. It is not Netflix's fault. They have no control over it. And we'll see later in the session why they have no control over it. So we can't become upset with them because there's nothing they can do about people actually sending fake emails from fake domains. There's nothing they can do about it. But they are unfortunately the biggest targets, the telecoms, the MTCs. If you see communication from them, it's a place of authority, the bank, you always confirm the legitimacy. And then sensitive questions presented as hard. We've discussed personal information many, many times in these sessions. It is critical and crucial to understand that when anybody wants your personal information, if it is your daughter on a WhatsApp asking you for your ID number, why would she ask you that? Verify, pick up the phone her. Hey, my darling, why do you need my ID number? Always a different way, because that's how the criminals, they cannot impersonate to that level. They can't be two people in one place. Or maybe with the AI, it'll go that way, but let's cross that bridge when we come to it. Good. So let us go look over a couple of definitions that we need to understand to navigate our way, especially if we are working online. It's important that we understand these. Hopefully, everybody knows what a browser is. We get many different browsers. I've listed some there. We get Mozilla Firefox, we get Microsoft Edge, we get Google Chrome. There's many Opera. There's a lot of them. Okay, that is a browser. It's the place where you access the internet. Okay, then what is a URL? A uniform resource locator. That's a big mouthful. What is a URL? It is that address, the uniform resource locator. It is the address that you type there in the top bar of your search engine or your browser. All right, it's a URL. Then a website address. A website address is something like standardbank.com.na, salt.na, mict.gov.na, netbank.com.na. Those are all website addresses. It is a place where the website lives online. Okay, a place where the website lives online. And finally, we get to a domain name. Now, a domain name is something, or is actually something that we buy, and I'll show you how easy it is to buy domain names. So if I want to go and buy salt.na, I can go and buy salt.na, then I would buy the domain name. That domain name would be used to create my website, my salt.na website, and also create my email addresses. So vanessa.marish@sol.na, contact@sol.na, info@sol.na. All of those email addresses and the website all come down to the domain name. It is the place in the internet that you own as a company, that an organization owns. So just some key concepts to understand, because it is important that we understand. We can buy a domain name. When we have a domain name, we can create a website with that, and we can also create email addresses with that. So let me play you a clip about what is a domain name and why it is important to understand what a domain is and how it fits into the largest phishing scheme of things. So let me go over and play you this clip. What is a domain name? No, thank you. I think his name is Dale or something. No, thank you, Dale. We do not want to purchase a domain name today, but thank you for the explanation. So, what we get from this video, I hope it was made it a bit more clear, is like the internet is very similar to a map, or at least the internet's locations can be compared to the locations in the physical world found on a map. So the address that your home has, that is your domain. Okay, that is your domain, and your domain name is the name of that space that you own in the internet. So we can buy those domain names, like I mentioned. MICT or the government has bought a domain name, so you always know .gov.na. That is a legitimate government website or email address. Then salt.na, that's a domain name. Salt, you pay actually every year. You pay money to actually retain that domain, similar to your house that you're buying or a building that you're buying. You pay for it. And by paying for it, it sort of confirms the legitimacy of you living there or you operating from there. Um, so to make it a little bit closer to home, you'll see on the right-hand side of the page, there's a birthday invitation. It is from Grace. It's got a date, it's got a time, and then it's got an address. So that address that is on the invitation, this invitation you can sort of see as the phishing email or the phishing WhatsApp or the phishing piece of communication coming your way. It looks very legitimate. It's from a person that you seem to know, but the address that it is pointing you to, you'll notice that there's a map of Windhoek, just a clip of a map of Windhoek just below the invitation. And if you look, and this is why I said the devil is in the details, pay attention to the details. You'll see that the street name has got one letter spelled differently. One letter spelled differently. So in the physical world, it would be very easy because you probably don't get a street with that name in the physical world, but in the virtual world, you get unlimited street names and house numbers in street names because the internet is sort of not, I wouldn't say unlimited, but for the explanation or for this explanation, you can see it as unlimited. So you would get different kinds of spellings of that street name. So different domains you would be able to purchase a multitude of them. Some of them would appear on the virtual map, but not on the physical map. All right. So how do the criminals do this? Very, very easy. They go to websites like GoDaddy, which is where you can purchase domains. So you can purchase a domain. You can go there yourself today if you want to. GoDaddy is the website. You can go and have a look how easy it is to actually buy a domain name. And all I have to do is I actually have to just put in a search for something like FNB Namibia, and it will give me all the available domain names that I can buy. And look, I can buy fnb-namibia.com for 99 cents per year. You see why cybercrime is so lucrative. It's so cheap to buy this domain. And now, very easy for us to go and actually purchase that domain and go and set up that website, which looks completely the same or very, very similar, except for that domain name having a different spelling than the actual FNB website, and create email addresses with that domain name that I've just purchased. So very, very easy. So you see how easy it is for the criminals to actually perpetrate the crimes. And the sad thing about this is the GoDaddy can't stop selling to people. It's like the car dealers can't stop selling cars because some people are going to perform hijackings. The people in the shops are not going to stop selling knives because some people might murder with that knife, and some people might use it to spread the butter on their toast. So it's not something that you, like I said, you can't blame F&B, you can't blame GoDaddy. It's nobody's fault. You have to be vigilant. This is the way of the world. So you have to be vigilant and double check where you click and that it is the real domain name you're going to. So let us look at the fish. This is a typical phishing email. And what we said, if you do want to confirm the legitimacy of a link, you can always hover over the link. So don't click on it, just hover over it. And if the mail, now in this case coming from Microsoft, you will hover over that link and out will pop a little box. And you won't see a single word about Microsoft in that box. So the link will tell you where, the address to where it's going to take you on the internet. And if there's no Microsoft in there, then you know you're not going to go to a Microsoft website. So that's the one way that you can check the legitimacy. Another way that you can check the legitimacy of websites, because it actually costs money to do this. So number one, it costs a bit of money to buy a domain. Number two, what costs a lot of money, which most criminals don't want to invest in doing, is actually securing the website. So you can actually secure the website, and that is by buying a SSL certificate. Okay, so you can actually buy a SSL certificate, which will then make your website secure. So when you are looking at websites from now on going forward, just have a look if it's got in the HTTPS. You see, there's a HTTPS. The S stands for secure. HTTPS. Those people have invested. They've bought a SSL certificate to protect their website. All financial institutions, anybody working with any financial data, have to secure their website with a SSL certificate, and then you will see the S appearing in the HTTPS. You will also see a little lock next to that URL. You'll see a little lock next to it. And if it doesn't have, it doesn't, isn't a HTTPS, it will be HTTP, and then it will be not secure. It will be not secure. And you'll also notice, just to show you, this is what these criminals did in this instance, where the actual real domain name is office.com. The website is www.office.com. The URL reads https // www. The unsecure website reads will be read HTTP and with a www.ofice. So it's misspelled. So now this actually shows us that criminals are not stupid. They didn't skip out from school. It's not because they can't spell. They're doing it on purpose because they want to fool you. They are relying on you not seeing that difference. Because again, if they said click this link to go change your password, and you will lose access to your account in 3 hours. They're creating a sense of urgency. They're making you stressed and nervous because you're going to lose something, and then you're not going to pay attention to the details. So, get to know your authorities. If you do not have favorites, and please, I can really recommend you use the Microsoft Edge browser for safety precautions, just to make sure you're in the safe space. Go and save your banking institutions, your Netflix, your LinkedIn, your Facebook. Go and actually make those favorites in your browser, because then you know it's the actual website. You don't need to click on a link then. You don't need to click on a link, because even if the bank will send you a link to update your password, you're not going to click on that link. You're going to go to the actual website, which is where you always do your banking. And that is where you're going to click and see, hey, there's no such message over here. And on that, if you have not put on two-factor authentication, in other words, that you don't receive a code when you're accessing your banking or transferring money, please do so today. That is one of the other ways that over 90% of cybercrime is stopped, by having multi-factor authentication or two-factor authentication in place. Please go and put that on. If you don't know how, reach out to the bank, phone them. You can reach out to us. We're not the bank, but we can give you some guidance or at least tell you where to go. But please go and put on your two-factor authentication, multi-factor authentication, so that even if they do get your password, at least they can't get into your account without the code. Good. The next thing we're going to discuss today is malicious attachments. So this is what we call the payload. It sounds sort of like a game, the payload, but it's not a game. Um, it touches on what I was discussing earlier. When you're not expecting a package from DHL, don't click on the link to track your package. If you are not in the sales department and you get a purchase order from someone you know in another company, query that. Don't just accept it, and do not open and download. Query it. Always ask, always verify legitimacy, because it's very difficult to undo the damage once you've opened that package. But to explain that a little bit better, let me play you a short clip on malicious attachments. Oops. All right, so that was a little bit about attachments. Let me just quickly mute everyone again. There we go. So attachments are those things that are attached to emails. Is a .doc, .xls, .pdf, .zip, .zf. Now, a way for you also to notice if an attachment is a legitimate thing or not is to look at the size of the actual attachment. Many times, attachments that are not what they seem will be either very, very small in comparison to what you would expect, which would immediately make you query. But in general, it's rather to be safe than sorry, because remember, these attachments are things that you can spread like in a disease. If it's a virus, it'll spread. So it'll first infect your machine when you've downloaded that attachment. And if you're connected to the internet or the network, or as soon as you become connected to the internet or the network, then it will actually go and infect others as well. That's why they're called viruses, because they're very similar to human viruses. So please be very, very vigilant with your attachments. Rather always confirm with IT department, friends, colleagues, someone that's an expert. Confirm with them the legitimacy of the request or the originator of the request. If someone sent you a purchase order, you really want to believe it, please contact that person. Either give them a phone call, because remember, if they came on email, the email can be compromised. Give them a phone call and say, did you send this to me on email? You are helping to stop the spread of cybercrime if you do this. Please do not just let it go. Do not just delete it. Don't become part of the cycle. So we're going to do a little team activity next before we move over to the last section of our session for today. And then I want you to look at what's on the screen. That's a mail from Microsoft. It's got a password reset request. Um, so can anyone tell me, you can use the chat, you can unmute. Can anyone tell me, what do you check in this email to verify the legitimacy? What do you check in this email? What is going to give you those clues that it might not be a legitimate request, that it's not Microsoft sending this email? What is going to give you those clues? Domain. Moritz says domain. Let's have a look here. Yes, look at that. That says at captech.com. If it were from Microsoft, it would come from at microsoft.com. Yes, Jaffet, the email domain. Wonderful. Well spotted, team. So look how sneaky they are. They're very sneaky. They say password request. But if you look at the email address, the domain name is coming from, it says from at captech.com. So these guys actually spent some money buying a domain. They didn't spend a lot of money because they didn't buy a Microsoft with an I. Yes, Judith, you're right. The email domain, captech, 100%. That is what we check, is the email address. And even if it didn't say captech, even if it said Microsoft, we would still check that Microsoft to see, are the O's not maybe zeros? Are the T's not maybe a different letter? Is it spelled correctly? Those are the type of things we would check. But if we were truly in doubt, Microsoft, and most people have a hotline that you can phone and you can ask, did you guys send me a password reset request? So always verify. Excellent. Thank you, everybody. So there's just our cyber threat alert page. If you go to our website, salt.na, we do have a S in the name, HTTPS in the URL. We are a secure website. So you can go to our website. There's a place where you can report cyber threat alerts. The cert is basically up and running anyway. So I think we'll be sharing communications around how you can report crimes or you can report phishes with CRAN as well. You are welcome to connect with us. You can find us on social media. Again, be sure it's our actual us, but you can find both MICT and SALT on social media. Do follow us on social media. We do post not just tips for awareness. We also post various other resources, keeping you updated as to what is going on. And then it's important, if you want to attend more cybersecurity going forward, or if you are interested in connecting with us or asking us questions, you're welcome to connect on social media. You can also go follow me, Vanessa Maresh, Follow me, Vanessa Marish, on LinkedIn. I regularly do free cybersecurity awareness training. I have a LinkedIn Learning subscription. So if you follow me on LinkedIn, I'll share some fantastic free cybersecurity awareness and other trainings with you. Just quickly from the chat box, we have Wesley. Hey, Wesley, spelling error in the male body to keep or apart. Wow, Wesley, you so deserve a goodie for picking that up. That is extremely well spotted. That is extremely well spotted. Let me check here. In the male body. Let me just check here. Wow. Let me just check here so I can also see it. Excellent. Wesley, you deserve a gift for that. That is fantastic. Not even I noticed that one. Well done. Well spotted, Wesley. Reach out to me on email. I promise I'm going to give you a small little token of appreciation because that was excellent, excellent attention to detail. Very, very good. All right. Moving on. So yes, connect with us. You can follow me on LinkedIn. I post lots of fantastic cybersecurity awareness. You can also connect with our WhatsApp bot. Our WhatsApp bot, there's the number. You just send it a little WhatsApp. You say hello. There's fantastic resources on there. So anything from advice and guidance for you as a person, for you as a business, for you as an organization, tips, tricks, how to remain safe. So please, you can scan in the QR code and join the WhatsApp bot. Join our discussions. We post messages from CRAN. We post messages from all of the authorities and the cybersecurity leaders in Namibia and beyond and internationally. And then there is the number if you want to jot it down. Please remember that our session, I'm going to be stopping it shortly, but we will be getting a recording. So if you don't catch anything about this session today, please be sure that you check out the recording. I'm going to send everybody an email after the session with the recording. So check out that recording. Okay, and last but not least, there is the the QR code. There is the QR code to the test. Okay, the QR code to the test. I will also put the URL. This is a good URL. It's not a bad fake URL. It's a real URL. It'll really take you to the test. Um, you are welcome to do that test. I will put it for you in the chat box. You can just click on it and do it. You don't have to finish it right now. You can do that in your own time during the course of the day. What we will do is we will publish your scores. Say after lunchtime, we'll publish the scores. So what you can do if you want to go check out your scores, if you're completing the test now, you can just click on the same link again and your score will appear. It's the beauty and wonderful world of Microsoft Forms. So please go do that test. Reach out to us if you need anything cybersecurity awareness related or just cybersecurity in general. We are here to support you ourselves with the Ministry of Information and Communication Technology. That brings us to the end of our session today. Before I formally close, I'd like to open for questions and answers. Is there anything, any feedback, any comments from our attendees today? Anything that you'd like to mention before we end off our sixth free cybersecurity awareness training session on this beautiful Friday? It's a bit warmer today. I hope everybody's experiencing happiness as I am. Any questions, any comments, any feedback? You're welcome to unmute yourself. You're welcome to give me some emoticons, give me some love. If you enjoyed the session today, please use those emoticons, use the chat. Anything? Questions, comments?
Uh,
Wonderful. I got some happiness and some love.
yeah,
Oh, okay.
I
You have
just
a
wanted to
question?
ask, yeah,
Yes.
what is the best VPN that is out there?
Well, I mean, I guess that depends. I don't think there's a best one. A VPN is a standard virtual private network that is built using specific pieces of hardware and software. So you can build a VPN with either the different things, FortiGate, if it's virtual, Microsoft, different things. So I don't think there's really a best one. You probably get better and worse providers of hardware and software, but in essence, it should be a dedicated tunnel, which allows for secure communications or collaborations. Although that being said, VPN these days is strictly not so needed anymore, with the way that cloud services have been structured now, and encrypted basically at identity and data access level. We're seeing VPNs fade out a little bit, but many people still do use them. It's supposed to be a very safe and secure way of communicating, but you can use different kinds of vendors to actually build up, or different technologies to build up your VPN.
Okay, so
Hope
what
that
is your
answers your question. Hmm?
yeah, but what is your opinion about Avast?
Oh, I'm not going to give an opinion about Avast.
Oh, oh, so it's
No.
that bad.
No, no, no. I'm not going to give an opinion about Avast, because this session is not to give guidance on which are the best providers and which are the worst providers. You can reach out to me one on one, and we can have a discussion around that. What I can tell you, which I do tell people, is if it is free, beware. Nothing is free. Um, yeah, that's what I've got to say about that one. Thank you, Delinks, for that intriguing question. There was someone else. Anyway, any more? Any questions? Any comments? Okay, if we have nothing more, I say thank you so much for joining us today. I'm looking forward to seeing your. Oh, wait, Tangeni. We have a Tangeni here saying, do you think AI will make catching fishing harder? Do you think AI will make catching fishing harder? You know, I'm gonna say, if you apply the principles that you're learning here about the emotion and the signs of phishing, then you will be able to detect a fake AI, or a AI like deep fakes, because there will always be those signs of phishing. The AI, say the AI is leaving you a voice note, it will use you'll be able to notice. They'll, if you, for example, the voice note tells you you need to release some funding from the bank or whatever, the chances that the criminals know absolutely everything about your organization or your business are very slim to none. The AI cannot really penetrate inside your organization. It uses information that's publicly available on the internet. So that's the extent of its knowledge. So there will be clues, even in AI generated deep fakes, that will allude you to this as potentially a scam or a phishing attempt. What I can tell you is, whenever there is money involved and you are asked to do anything with that money that deviates in any way from the norm. So say your boss would send you a email and say, please release the banking, and suddenly you get a WhatsApp. Anything that deviates from the norm, apply what you learned today. See the signs of phishing, the urgency. If they say you must release the bank within 2 hours or anything like that, then you must verify the legitimacy in a different way the communication was sent to you. Like I said, even if it is your daughter saying, please send me an e-wallet, verify, phone the person. But yes, it makes it harder to spot, but not impossible if you are vigilant. It will make it more as well, because remember what I was saying about the car dealers, they don't know if they're selling to the criminals or not to criminals. Same thing with AI. The good guys is going to use it, the bad guys is going to use it. Everyone's going to use it. It doesn't make the AI bad. It makes the people, the criminals, bad. Does that answer your question, Tangeni? Fantastic. All right. So if there's nothing else for today, I will thank you very much. Have a fantastic Friday, a wonderful weekend. We'll see you again here next week, same time, same place. Do your test. Watch out for the recording. And if there's anything else, links, me and Yuka, we can have an offline chat about what we discussed on the call today. You've been a fabulous audience. Have a fantastic day. And yeah, see you again next week. Bye.